All right, hello YouTube, and welcome to another exciting game of Deaths of Athazar between two fairly neophyte players, Ahmad Wothaini and Mohammed Ghazi. And actually, this is one of the first games that I've recorded that these guys are actually playing with the expanded version. They're playing with the expanded deck, and in the expanded deck we have an additional four extra new characters in the deck that does very specific things when it comes to their power. So we're just going to take a look at this game and see how well they play with the expanded deck. And the game always starts with each player getting 7 cards. And as you can see, Muhammad Ghazi gets the very bad Djinn card, followed by the Prince, 2 sailors, a wise man, a brawler, and another sailor. And Ahmed, his hands is pretty much filled with killers. He has 2 assassins, a warrior 4, a renegade 4, a brawler, a magician, and a hunter. All right. And if you analyze both of these guys' hands, you will see that with Muhammad with that Djinn, he's going to have to find some way to get rid of that Djinn as soon as possible. The Djinn is a very difficult card to get rid of, but by looking at Ahmed's hand, it is most likely that one of the killers may end up getting into Muhammad's hands. But since he already has that hunter and the weak brawler card, it's most likely he's going to trade those 2 for whatever Muhammad decides to pass. So the game starts off with the pass phase, and it's very simple. Each player will pass 1 card to the other. However, if they have the hunter, they're allowed to pass 2. So during the pass phase, Ahmed gets the sailor, and Muhammad gets the hunter and the brawler. Muhammad begins first, since he was dealt to last. And he decides to play a very simple kill, which is brawler kill sailor. And Ahmed responds by taking the magician and killing off a pair. It's quite obvious he did that to get the card count advantage. He now has 3, and Muhammad is down to 6. Then we move to the deal phase. Each player gets 1 card from the deck. Ahmed gets another sailor, and this time Muhammad gets the magician. Now, one of the things that Muhammad has learned as he played this game is that he wants to use his power of probability. And since he has a magician and he has a hunter and a brawler, it's most likely he's going to pass the hunter and brawler off because the odds of getting another sailor is higher. All right, so that if he gets another sailor, he can use that magician to get rid of a pair. All right, so they did the swap, and as expected, Muhammad did get the sailor for the hunter brawler, and because of that, he decided to go ahead and use his magician, and Ahmed responded by having the renegade kills the hunter. Ahmed decided to kill the hunter mainly because I guess he just didn't want to have the hunter continuously pass to him. One of the things about a hunter is that it can be helpful, but it can be also a nuisance, especially if you're trying to get rid of your cards for the other player. All right, then we do the deal phase, and Muhammad gets another magician. And Ahmed gets one of the new characters from the expansion deck, which is the Mother card. And the Mother card is a pretty powerful card, mainly because it doesn't have a numerical value, which means that it can't be killed by any character in the deck. Not even the powerful assassin can kill the Mother. The assassin is one of the cards that can kill any number, but since she doesn't have a number, a Mother can't be killed. So what usually happens is if someone gets a Mother card, they'll either have to pass her on or actually use the card. They're going to be forced to use the card. And that's the only way you can get rid of the Mother, is to actually use her. You can't kill her out of your hand. like some of the other disruption cards. Alright, so during the swap, Mohammed goes ahead and swaps his wise man, and Ahmed decides to swap the warrior. And then Ahmed decides to play Brawler Kills Hunter, and Mohammed decides to play the Prince, forcing Ahmed to take another card from the deck. And Ahmed gets a Sorcerer as a result. All right, and then we do the deal phase again. Ahmed ends up getting a Sailor, and Mohammed gets another character that's new from the expansion deck, which is a card of a value of 8, which is the Butcher card. And the Butcher card is a neat little card. It's one of those killer cards that is like the Magician, where it can kill 2 cards at the same time. But it is which 2 cards? Now, the Butcher can only kill 2 cards that are over the value of 7. But there's a caveat to the Butcher. The reason why he's a Butcher, because not only can he kill 2 cards of his own out of his own hand, but he forces every other player in the game to eliminate a card from their hand. So even though the Butcher can be a good asset to a player, he also has to keep in mind that if he's going to do a kill, he is also giving other players an advantage by getting rid of 1 card. So one of the ways to best use a Butcher is usually early in the game. Not so much during the final stages of the game or the mid-game. All right, so they went ahead and did the pass. All right, because Mohammed didn't have anything over 7, he went ahead and passed the Butcher along, and Ahmed passes the weakest card, which is the Sailor. And Mohammed decides to take the warrior and kill the Sailor out of his hand, and Ahmed decides to use the Mother card. Mainly because he wanted to, he noticed that Mohammed maybe have 2 cards left, and he didn't want Mohammed to get the advantage of another kill. So he went ahead and played the Mother card. Now the Mother card, the power of the Mother card is the person who played it has the ability to collect all of the cards of all the players, reshuffle the cards, and deal. All right, so he was able to take all the cards, and after the reshuffle, Ahmed ends up getting the Djinn and the Butcher, and Mohammed ends up getting the Sorcerer, Magician, and the Wise Man. So now, by playing that card, Ahmed actually put himself in a little trouble. He didn't know that Mohammed had the Djinn, and at this point, Mohammed thought that that was pretty much a godsend, an advantage, because at this point, it was very difficult for him to get rid of that Djinn at this point. Then we do the deal phase. Ahmed gets the Sorcerer, and Mohammed gets another Sailor. They do the swap. Again, Ahmed went ahead and swapped the Butcher because he didn't have 2 cards that were over 7. All right, and then during the play, Ahmed went ahead and played the Sorcerer, ends up getting Mohammed an extra Sailor. And then Mohammed responds with playing a Sorcerer again. And basically, he just returned the Sailor back to Ahmed. All right, then during the deal phase, Ahmed gets a Hunter, and Mohammed Ghazi gets a Prince. All right, they do the swap. And Ahmed went ahead and sent a Hunter and a Sailor, and Mohammed went ahead and passed the Magician. And the reason why probably Mohammed passed the Magician, because he kind of knew what Ahmed had in his hand. He knew he had that terrible Djinn in his card, and he knew that a Magician couldn't kill. One of the things that as you play Death of Athazar, you have to be very cognizant of the cards that are being passed between each player. So you got to kind of remember, keep a good memory. And if you've ever played our You Make the Call videos, one of our first videos was about remembering the cards that you are being passed to other players and which cards are being shuffled about. Okay, So Mohammed decides to play the prince, forcing Ahmad to deal a brawler. And then Ahmed had no options, so he had to pass his turn. Then they did the deal phase again. Mohammed gets a renegade, and Ahmed gets another brawler. And if you see Ahmed saying he has a magician and two brawlers, now if it wasn't for the pass phase, he could use that magician to kill out the two brawlers. But it is the pass phase now, and he's going to have to pass at least one of those cards. And since he cannot pass the Djinn, his opportunity of using his magician to kill the two brawlers is pretty much stopped. All right, so they went ahead and did the pass phase. So Ahmed went ahead and passed the magician card, hoping that he could at least get rid of one of the brawlers. And so when he did that, he ends up getting a hunter sailor for the magician. All right. And then Ahmed went ahead and killed the sailor, while Mohammed had his renegade kill the magician. All right. Then on the deal phase again, Ahmed gets another brawler. All right. And Mohammed gets the archer. All right. Now, both men are in a very bad predicament. Ahmed is in a bad predicament because he has the Djinn, which can't be passed. And he has to wait for him to get a card that is able to kill the Djinn. And Mohammed is in a bad predicament because he has the Butcher. Even though the Butcher is allowed to pass to kill two cards, he has to get the right combination of cards. He has to get two cards that are over 7. And so far, that's not working out for him. So, so Mohammed may have to just end up passing the Butcher back and forth. So they do the swap, but this time Mohammed went ahead and passed the Wise Man, hoping that he could get 2 cards over 7. And and Ahmed passed the Hunter and the Brawler. And now Mohammed has the advantage because he has the Archer card, which is of 6. And archers kill even numbers. And since butchers are very difficult to use, he went ahead and had the archer kill the butcher. And Ahmed went ahead and played the Wise Man to get a sailor from the deck. Then the pass phase again. The deal phase again, and Ahmed gets a assassin, and Mohammed gets the warrior 9. Okay. Now, if you were Ahmed in this situation, what would you do? All right, because you know if you were playing and watching the board, and you knew what was the last card you passed to Mohammed, you knew you passed him a hunter and a brawler. And you see that your opponent has 3 cards, you always assume that that player is going to give you back the hunter and the brawler. And it looks like, and you don't know what the 3rd card is. So pretty much Ahmed is in a very, very bad situation. Especially at this particular moment in the game when Mohammed has 3 cards and you know that 2 of them is a hunter and a brawler. All right, because he can't pass this Djinn. I mean, he can use the assassin to kill the Djinn, but Ahmed is going to have the advantage Mohammed is going to have the advantage because actually on this round, he'll be the first to go. So I guess it's really nothing Ahmed can do. So they went ahead and did the pass, and as expected, Mohammed went ahead and passed the hunter brawler, and Ahmed went ahead and played the sailor. And because of that, the game is pretty much finished from here. Ahmed was able to finally get rid of the Djinn, and Mohammed ends the game by having his warrior 9 kill the sailor. So the Djinn, again, is one of those cards that can really lose the game for you. And as you see in this game, the Djinn has pretty much held both Ahmed and Mohammed up to the point where there was pretty much nothing they can do in the end game. And so that's the end of the game between Ahmad and Mohammed. I hope you enjoyed this game and this little analysis, and like watching our videos. If you want, you can just go ahead and comment, share, and subscribe. And we'll see you next time in the next video.